Today, I want to tell you a story. It is about a country, its people, and a fight for freedom. But don't worry, I will keep it simple. This way, you can understand everything, even if you are still learning English. This is the story of the Ukraine War. Maybe you saw the news. Maybe you heard people talking about it. But today, I will explain it in a way that is easy to follow. And while we talk about this story, you will also improve your English. So, if you want to learn, just listen and repeat after me when I pause. Let's start with something important. Why should we care? Wars happen in different parts of the world, but this one is special. It changed the lives of millions of people. Families lost their homes. Children had to leave their schools. And many people had to say goodbye to loved ones. But this is not just a sad story. It is also a story of courage, hope, and unity. People stood together, helped each other, and fought for their country. Their strength can teach us something. So, are you ready? Let's go back in time and see how everything started. Before the war, Ukraine was a peaceful country. It had big cities, small villages, and beautiful landscapes. People lived their normal lives, going to work, studying, and spending time with their families. The capital city, Kiev, was full of life, with busy streets, markets, and historic buildings. Ukraine became an independent country in 1991. Before that, it was part of a bigger country called the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union collapsed, Ukraine and many other countries became free. They could now make their own decisions. But this also created problems. For many years, Ukraine had to choose its future. Some people wanted the country to be closer to Europe. They wanted better jobs, better education, and more freedom. Others felt connected to Russia because of history, culture, and language. This created a division. In 2014, things got worse. Russia took control of Crimea, a region that was part of Ukraine. This shocked the world. Many people in Ukraine were angry and scared. Some parts of Ukraine, especially in the east, also started fighting. These regions wanted to join Russia, but Ukraine wanted to keep its land together. Even with these problems, life continued. People worked, traveled, and dreamed about a better future. But behind the scenes, tensions were rising. The world was watching, and Ukraine was standing at a crossroads. Would it go towards Europe, or would Russia pull it back? Nobody knew that in 2022, everything would change. It was early morning on February 24, 2022. People in Ukraine were sleeping, going to work, or getting ready for the day. Then, everything changed. Loud explosions shook the cities. Sirens started to ring. Tanks rolled in. The war had begun. Russia sent thousands of soldiers into Ukraine. Their plan was simple: take control of the country quickly. Many people thought Kiev, the capital, would fall in just a few days. But something unexpected happened. Ukraine fought back. President Volodymyr Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, refused to leave. Some people told him to escape and stay safe. But he answered, "I need ammunition, not a ride." He stayed with his people and became a symbol of strength. The war was not only fought with guns, it was also fought online. People shared videos and pictures of what was happening. The world saw Ukrainian people standing in front of Russian tanks, unarmed but unafraid. Ordinary citizens, teachers, musicians, shop owners, picked up weapons to defend their country. At the same time, many Ukrainians had to run. Cities were bombed. Families packed their bags and left, not knowing if they would ever return. Mothers and children crossed the borders into Poland, Romania, and other countries, searching for safety. Fathers stayed behind to fight. The world reacted quickly. Countries sent weapons, money, and food to Ukraine. Leaders gave speeches, calling for peace. Some countries placed sanctions on Russia. This means they stopped doing business with them. The goal was to make Russia feel the pressure and stop the war. But the war did not stop. It was just beginning. Ukraine surprised everyone with its resistance, but Russia was a powerful enemy. Many people thought Ukraine would lose quickly. Russia had more soldiers, more weapons, and more tanks. But Ukraine did not give up. Instead, they fought harder than anyone expected. At first, Russia attacked from different directions. They tried to take Kiev, the capital, fast. But Ukrainian soldiers and even normal people stood in their way. They blocked roads, destroyed Russian tanks, and used clever strategies. Some people even moved street signs to confuse Russian soldiers. One big moment in the war was the Battle of Kiev. Russia thought it would be easy to take over the city. But Ukraine defended it with everything they had. After weeks of fighting, Russia failed. They had to retreat. This was a huge victory for Ukraine. Another famous moment was the story of Snake Island. Russian soldiers told a small group of Ukrainian defenders to surrender. But instead of giving up, the Ukrainians sent a strong message back: "Go away." Well, they used stronger words, but you get the idea. This moment became a symbol of Ukraine's courage. The world continued to help. The United States, the European Union, and other countries sent weapons, medicine, and food. But Ukraine needed more. President Zelensky spoke to world leaders, asking for support. He gave powerful speeches and won the hearts of millions. At the same time, Russia did not stop. They changed their strategy and focused on the east and south of Ukraine. Cities like Mariupol suffered heavy attacks. Thousands of people were trapped with no food, water, or electricity. But even in these dark moments, Ukraine kept fighting. The war was far from over. Ukraine had shown strength, but Russia was still a dangerous enemy. War is not just about soldiers and battles. It is about people, families, children, and everyday life suddenly changing forever. Before the war, Ukrainians lived like anyone else. They went to school, worked in offices, and spent time with friends. But when the war started, normal life disappeared. Cities were bombed, stores were empty, and people had to hide in basements to stay safe. Many families had to make a hard decision, stay or leave. For millions, there was no choice. They packed small bags, grabbed their children, and ran to safer places. Imagine leaving your home, not knowing if you will ever return. That is what happened to them. By the end of 2022, more than 8 million Ukrainians had left their country. Most went to Poland, Germany, and other European countries. Some were welcomed with open arms. Others struggled to find jobs and homes. But everywhere they went, they carried one hope: to return one day. Not everyone could leave. Many elderly people stayed behind, unable to travel. Some refused to go, saying, "This is my home. I will not leave." Volunteers helped by bringing them food and medicine, even under dangerous conditions. The war also brought heroes. Ordinary people became rescue workers, doctors, and fighters. Some made food for soldiers. Others helped children cross the border. Every act of kindness mattered. And even in war, life continued. Couples got married in underground shelters. Babies were born in hospitals without electricity. People sang songs to stay hopeful. Because no matter how hard things got, Ukrainians never stopped believing in a better future. War is terrible. It destroys cities, separates families, and brings fear. But even in the hardest times, there are lessons we can learn. First, courage. Ukrainians showed incredible bravery. They fought not because they wanted to, but because they had to. They protected their homes, their families, and their country. Courage is not about being fearless, it is about standing strong even when you are scared. Second, never give up. At the beginning, many people thought Ukraine had no chance. But they proved everyone wrong. Just like them, when we face challenges, like learning English or starting something new, we must keep going. Progress takes time, but every small step matters. Third, the world is connected. When the war started, people from different countries helped. Some sent money, others opened their homes to refugees. Even in difficult times, kindness and unity make a difference. Now, let's test what we learned. I will ask you some questions. Try to answer them aloud or write your answers. Don't worry about making mistakes, every mistake is a step toward learning. Who is the president of Ukraine? Why did Russia start the war? What does independence mean? Great job! If you answered, you are already practicing English. If not, try again, it's all about progress. Now, let's do a speaking exercise. Repeat these sentences after me. War is dangerous, but people are strong. Independence means being free. A refugee is someone who leaves their home for safety. Try saying them slowly, then a little faster. The more you repeat, the more confident you will become. And here's a challenge for you. Imagine you meet someone who asks, "What do you know about the Ukraine war?" How would you explain it in simple English? Take a moment to think. You can even practice with a friend. Learning a new language is like a journey. It takes time, but every step counts. You're doing amazing, so keep going. Wow! We have learned so much today. We talked about the Ukraine war, the courage of its people, and the lessons we can take from this story. But most importantly, you practiced your English. Remember, learning a language is like building a house. Each new word is a brick. The more you practice, the stronger your house becomes. You don't need to be perfect, just keep going, step by step. And here's something important: mistakes are good. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. So don't be afraid to speak, to write, or to try. Your English is already improving. Now, let's finish with a question. What is one thing you learned from today's story? Think about it and, if you want, write your answer in the comments. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. There are many more stories to come, and each one will help you learn English in a fun and easy way. Thank you for learning with me today. Keep learning, keep growing, and see you next time.